started a new group. It's called Wholetails. I'm funding people's deals in the group. If you're gonna put $75,000 into a property, you should probably make $75,000. Keep that as a rule of thumb. You need to have a buffer in there. Add 15 to 20%. If you got 400,000 in the bank and you got an opportunity to spend 300 of it, would you do it to make 15,000? Hell no. What would be your minimum? Mine's 30. Welcome to the Property Profits Podcast. Thank you so much for jumping on. I'm in a freaking motel room right now on the road. We're staying at, what is this, a Best Western off of Route 66 in Springfield, Missouri. The sign said Elvis stayed here in 1959. Just had to let y'all know that. And you're going to hear my dog in the background and all sorts of stuff. But I had to get a podcast out. All right. Tonight's show is about flipping. All right. And the reason I'm going over this is I started a new group. It's called Wholetails. I've been yapping about it. If you don't know about it, I'm funding people's deals in the group. And this is for like newbies all the way to experienced people, right? What a wholesale is when you buy a property, minimally rehab it. I'm talking like sweep, coat of paint, maybe put it back on the market and make some money. I usually like to make 30,000 or more when I do these, depending on the purchase price, of course. Anyway, that's a wholesale. I have a group. If you're interested, DM me on my Facebook, email me, travis@exclusiveequitycorp.com. Anyways, a dude brings me a deal in the group tonight. It was a flip. It wasn't a wholesale, right? Still training people. But anyways, he's like, hey, dude, this needs 75,000 repairs. I think ARV is like 250, which I didn't agree with that either, but I see how he got it. And we ended up being on the market for 99,000. But anyways, long story short, I'm like, all right, if you want to pitch a deal to me in this group, you've got to put the address, you've got to put the comps, you've got to put the calculator, right? The calculator says this is what like ARV or market value is. This is what the repair cost is. It does repairs for you. You check like the big ticket items, it adds it in there for you. You say low, medium, high repair. It just gives you the whole nine, right? Anyway, in his scenario, it said that we are going to make $40,000, but we had to put $75,000 in repair to do that. That's not a good flip. If you're going to do a flip, and I would have never thought that before. I've done flips and made like horrible decisions like in the past, but you learn, right? So this is why you're listening to this so that you can learn, so you don't make that mistake. If you're going to put $75,000 into a property, you should probably make $75,000, right? Makes sense. Keep that as a rule of thumb. If you got to put 30,000 in, make sure you make 30. But the reason wholetails are cool on another side note here is because you put 5 to 10,000, maybe 10, and you make 30, right? It's a pretty good turnaround. But anyways, back to the flip conversation. If you're budgeting for a flip, make sure if you're going to put 40 grand, you can make 40 grand. If you're going to wholesale it to somebody, make sure if they got to put 40, they're going to make 40 and put your fee subtracted from that. Hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to make that crystal clear because I've talked to a lot of people lately. They don't think that way. I never did either until I lost my ass or made minimal margins after borrowing lots of money, right? Because things cost time and money. Another thing, and I'm getting to teach y'all lessons from my group that I'm hearing from the group. And some of these, you might be super experienced. You'd be like, man, this doesn't make sense. This is dumb. But it's not. Everybody's in this thing at their own period in their life, their own journey. Just if you're above this, then cool, right? You already know it. If you don't, cool. But there's a dude that came to me yesterday and he's, look, like, why can't we just pencil the numbers a little tighter? We can at least make 15 grand on this thing. Why do we have to make 30 grand? I'm like, listen, this is a $300,000 house. That means we got to pay $300,000 to buy it. Money for $300,000 costs money to get $300,000. If it doesn't, and you just want to spend your own cash, which nobody does, everybody uses some sort of leverage. But even if you're going to use your own money, are you going to go use 300,000 of your dollars to hopefully make $15,000? Think about it. Put the shoe on your foot. You've got $300,000. Let's just say you got 400,000 in the bank, right? You got a house and you got an opportunity to spend 300 of it. Would you do it to make 15,000? Hell no. What would be your minimum? Mine's 30, right? If I'm spending 400, I need to make 40. If I'm spending 500, I need to make 50, right? Same thing with the flips. If I'm going to spend 40, I need to make 40. At least, hopefully, that's my projection. And one last thing with the flips, don't ever just go off of your projection, right? You need to have a buffer in there. Add 15 to 20%. I know that sounds crazy, but add 15 to 20%. This dude's ARV on his calculator was 240 because the other one sold at 240 and he put 249. He went 9 above it because it had a little bigger lot. I'm like, nah, go the other way. You need a buffer. Even if you're gonna wholesale this thing, give somebody a good deal. Put this thing at 220 because if they can make the 240, great. That was the only house like within 5 blocks that got that much money. Don't just go off the anomaly. Hope you love my rant. Sorry if it was too much. Hope you learned something about it. Last time I'm gonna plug this. If you want to join my Wholetails group, DM me on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining tonight, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.